It's crazy how we talk about a player the previous video before, and he gets traded immediately to the team that we talk about. And it's very rare that it's to the team that is usually with, because usually rumors don't go like this. But rumor has it, and it's been confirmed, Serge Ibaka is being traded to the Toronto Raptors for T. Ross and a mid-first round pick. More details is on the way as I discuss it here on the next video of NBA Talk. Hey, what's up guys, this is Young Shy here, back here today to give you guys another video. As I said before this video, Serge Ibaka has been traded to the Toronto Raptors. You can see there on the screen, for Terrence Ross and a 2017 first round pick, either from the Clippers or from the Raptors, between the lesser value of the pick. So regardless or not, this pick is going to be a mid-round to late round pick for this deal. And to me, this basically tells us that the Serge Ibaka deal is an all-in deal for the Toronto Raptors, especially the things that has been going on with the organization, losing 5 straight, now losing, I think, the last 10 out of the 13 games that they played, and they drop automatically to the 5th seed when they currently was at the 6th seed from the beginning. Very tough blow for the Toronto Raptors, but now with help, they get Serge Ibaka, who's a really good rim protector, a really good floor spacer, which they really needed in both a two-way player. Having Pascal Siakam basically playing defense but can't shoot, and having Patrick Patterson, who plays a lick of defense but can really provide good on offense. Now they have both between, they basically have between both best of both worlds, which is really good. In terms of their offense and in terms of their defense, they really needed that defensive person to make stops. And Serge Ibaka can switch out on pick and rolls and everything and basically get the stops that he's needed to win games. Toronto Raptors, probably one of the second best offenses in the league. Didn't really need Ibaka, but did need him for some cases to basically draw attention away from them and more into on the role players. And also they're ranked, I think, in the middle of defensive rating. So pretty much with the fact that Serge Ibaka will help them tremendously in terms of their rating on defense, this was a good trade, in my opinion, for the Toronto Raptors. And now looking from the other side, and from the Orlando Magic side, it kind of helps out Orlando as well, but also shows the very bad dealing that they've been going through for the past year, and what they thought would be a very good push for them, or a very good risk for them, actually turned out to be a very bad risk, and further puts the franchise in rebuilding mode, as they was trying to look for a playoff push, but unfortunately does not have it here. Has this trade basically proves it. The GM is right now under fire. I think it's Rob Harrigan, who's as under fire as he is getting evaluated at the end of the season through rumor reports, through Real GM and every other source that's in there. Pretty much he is on the hot seat, and his dealing and everything will be evaluated by the off season. So we got to see what's going to happen to him and this process that he's going through with the Orlando Magic as far as their rebuilding. So here I'm going to give you guys an inside scoop on the Real GM as I read down the grading details article. So basically the grading the deal details, and then I'm going to give you my side more into it. And then we're also going to be talking about the Kevin Love injury and how that affects things, even how it affects all-star voting coming down the line. You can see here that we're grading the deal from Keith Smith. I'll leave a description of his tweet and basically his Twitter logo on my description below. and you can check him out. Very good stuff from him. I recommend him on the last video. So let's get started. Grading the deal: Raptors acquire Serge Ibaka from the Magics. This was made 12:46 p.m. and the noon. So here it goes. In a move that could alter the landscape of the Eastern Conference, what I feel, which is a really good thing for them, especially with the Cavaliers now being hurt with Kevin Love. The TOR Raptors traded Terrence Ross in the 2017 first-round pick to Orlando Magic for Serge Ibaka. As the Magic season slid continuously south, they began to lose faith that they would retain Ibaka, as he told them, according to the Adrian Wojnarowski report, that he's intended to go and leave through free agency, having any team to acquire him by chance. So I feel like the Magic had to basically trade him or they'll lose out on him. And trading him, they move on from this past summer big acquisition and launch another iteration of rebuilding process since trading away Dwight Howard. Given that Orlando traded Victor Oladipo and a lottery pick Domantas Sabonis, or the lottery pick that turns out to be Domantas Sabonis for Ibaka at the draft, many see this as a loss for the Magic. But you can't really judge trades in aggregation. One move doesn't always link to the next that easily. The Magic choose to move on for Ibaka and recoup what they could. Terrence Ross gives the Magic shooting they surely lack. He's a true wing, of which the Orlando roster is in short order for. Ross will be a nice partner for Evan Fournier, who will stay at the shooting guard position, which he's best at, and help to open up the defense for other players to get the work done. Not to be missed, this deal has opened doors for Aaron Gordon, who will now go straight to his 4 spot and have Alfred Payton back and more time at the 1. First and most importantly, this trade puts Aaron Gordon back at the power forward, like I said, which he probably belongs. And Atlanta have tried to make it work with him at small forward, but he hasn't been the true small forward that they want. All of Gordon's athletic advantages are negated going against small forwards. Early indication that is Gordon will move back to the 4 full time, and it will give him a chance to blossom into the player many has thought he would be. As for Alfred Payton, adding a shooter to the starting line will open up things for him in his starting role. With better floor spacing, Payton should be able to attack off the dribble and get into the paint. This will allow him to create scoring opportunities for himself and his teammate. Ross is under contract this season for $10 million and will play the next 2 seasons with $10.5 million apiece. That is a fair contract of a player of his abilities. The Magic can also open up north of $14 million in cap space this summer by re-announcing all their free agents, which will unlikely to happen had they still had Serge Ibaka. Adding a solid player in the first round pick for a player who was likely to leave for nothing is good work, even what is thought to not be a great trade for them. Speaking about this first round pick as well, this is coming out of a great draft, so you may not know if you find a hidden gem. So great trade, from my opinion, from the Orlando Magic, or from his opinion from Orlando Magic, and he'll give him a B+. Now for the Toronto Raptors side, with the recent news of Kevin Love being out for 6 weeks and a slide in the standings, the Raptors has completely went all in this season by acquiring Serge Ibaka. Power forward has been a long-time hole for Toronto. They tried to fill it this summer by signing Jared Sullinger, but he's been hurt and ineffective. Patrick Patterson's a good player, but too much usage can lead to him missing time and also being ineffective. Everyone else on the Toronto Raptors roster is masquerading as a power forward, but they're best suited to play somewhere else. At least for the rest of the season, that's no longer a problem. Ibaka will give the Raptors the ability to stretch the floor offense while also providing some very good shot blocking and rebounding. He's almost the ideal fit to Jonas Valanciunas up front. Trading Ross opens up a hole off the bench for shooters, but Toronto can address with another trade or on the buyout market. They also freed up consistent minutes for Norman Powell, who was a very dire need of minutes right now for Norman Powell. He's been playing out of his mind lately. Actually boosted up his points per turtle, his defense, his minutes has been up. They just been trying to find minutes, and now they will bring him up, and hopefully he will make an impact to the lineup. He brings a defensive element they are missing. This summer, things project to be really expensive for the Raptors. Of course, Kyle Lowry is a free agent, and he's going to automatically demand a max contract. Or projects had the deal being a 5-year, $207 million deal. That is the price of doing business for a top-tier all-star point guard, and Toronto will have to pay it. Ibaka is also a free agent, and Raptors acquire him on eyes on keeping him long-term. Masai Ujiri wanted Serge Ibaka for a long time, and pretty much Serge Ibaka being his last year on the deal, they have plans on keeping him. I think they could work out. His likely command a deal around $20 million annually, which would give Toronto the most expensive rosters in the league. Masai Ujiri can't worry about all this in the summer. For this season, he struck a major move to put Toronto in a contender position. They're probably still a step behind Cleveland. But if Kevin Love can't make it back, the Raptors have a good shot, has any to take a top muffle the Eastern Conference. And the grade for the Toronto will be an A right there. And you can see here Kevin Smith on NBA on Twitter writes for a real GM. You can look him up on the Twitter description below. So basically now going off of my assessment of the trade, I feel like the Orlando Magic has basically given up on the idea of basically improving their roster and hopefully making a playoff push. With the signing of Frank Vogel, the team was obviously in terms of getting better defensively, which they have, but it hasn't been a steady or dramatic improvement. It's just been, the same type of, defense that they've been playing in real life. Is just no offense to be played as well. Their defense is still in the middle of the pack. Still a tough team to beat at home, but regardless or not, Orlando is looking like they are sliding down and not going to even attempt or even make it to the playoffs at all. As I said, the GM has been under hot fire, possibly getting moved. So this basically shuts down all the rumors of what's going to happen for the Orlando Magic going down the road, and they're going to, again, try to recoup in terms of rebuilding. Again, Serge Ibaka was planning on leaving them, so in an ideal situation, this was a smart trade, as said by Kevin Smith through the Great in the Deal trade, so I can't give him too much slack of letting go of Serge Ibaka. And they also get a shooter in Terrence Ross and somebody they can build with, as he's only, I believe, 25 years old. And can still develop. So that's really good on the part of the Orlando Magics. And as far as opening up opportunities for other players to basically get involved in minutes, Aaron Gordon, I feel, should have been starting at the 4 at the first spot, which kind of makes it a little weird to see that he was playing the 3 for most of the time that he was on Orlando, basically with Serge Ibaka. Now open up more minutes for him. Alfred Payton now has somebody that can spread out and shoot, and makes him more of a threat to drive in and score or show his passing ability. And also the team is still young, and he can still develop into a very good team and still a good defensive team if needed for Frank Vogel. They have $15 million cap to if they re-announce all their free agents, and they can use that cap wisely as it goes into free agency this coming summer. And they also get some really good picks, keeping their own, and also keeping getting either the Toronto Raptors and the Los Angeles Clippers pick. So really, for my grade on the Toronto Raptors deal for the Orlando Magic side, I'll give it a B, only because of they got rid of Serge Ibaka, who was most likely was going to walk regardless of what anybody said, for a better, higher market, who he really wanted $20 million annually. And I agree with him, he should, because he is a profound player that needs it, I feel. But that's a really good trade for Orlando to basically break off the experiment and basically just move forward and continue to rebuild since the Dwight Howard era. Now for the Toronto Raptors side, obviously this is an all-in deal for Masai Ujiri and the Toronto Raptors now getting 3 potential all-stars, 3 all-stars in my opinion, I feel, with Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, and Serge Ibaka. Both of them is going to make an attempt to face off against the Cavaliers each and every year. I think they have a really good starting five here. Obviously with Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, DeMar Carroll, Serge Ibaka, and also Jonas Valanciunas, they basically have people that can stretch the floor and shoot. I feel like Serge Ibaka playing the center and having Valanciunas playing the cannon role would really help out with Patrick Patterson playing the 4 and having Serge Ibaka as the 5. And basically, you can go small ball lineup, and basically the 4 and 5s are able now to check and switch out on pick and rolls and screens, and basically guard those guards if you need them to. And also you can stretch out the floor and shoot. Defense is still going to be better with Serge Ibaka on the floor and Patrick Patterson on the floor, I feel. And either which way, however you play it, pretty much Serge Ibaka and Jonas Valanciunas can work together as well. Ibaka would be an ideal fit who provides rim protection, while Jonas doesn't really have to focus on the area. He can just now focus on rebounding and putting the points through the post. That's if, however, the Toronto Raptors want to play it, is on them. Regardless or not, they have now a two-way player that can basically play defense and offense, more like Patrick Patterson, but only thing more effective like Patrick Patterson. And they have somebody that can play defense on that other side of the ball, same way it has Pascal Siakam. I believe that's his name. Pascal Siakam can basically play defense, but only thing he can't really score on offense or basically shoot to basically have an effectiveness on offense. So that's a great trade for the Toronto Raptors, especially with the news that Kevin Love, which we'll discuss right after this, Serge Ibaka will be a great impact if Kevin Love cannot come back and the Toronto Raptors have to face Cleveland in the playoffs, or during a chance of actually getting back to the second spot and basically helping them with playoff seeding. Or if the Raptors have to play the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference, they'll at least know that they have a real shot with a banged up Kevin Love possibly coming back and a banged up J.R. Smith. Alright, so now with the Kevin Love deal, with the Serge Ibaka deal now being in place, let's talk about Kevin Love and his injury. He's out 6 weeks with a microscopic knee surgery. He complained about having soreness after the Denver game that the Cavaliers played, and now he's on the surgery table and basically shelved for 6 weeks. With J.R. Smith being out and Kevin Love being out, the latest response by LeBron James was, "Don't worry, as long as I'm on the team and on the floor, we're going to be fine until he returns." So, with that keeping in mind, also Kevin Love is an all-star this year and now have to come with the replacement of who is going to replace him. One idea that I will have is Andre Drummond, Bradley Beal, Kristaps Porzingis. Obviously, coach is going to feel Carmelo should be in there, and then other people as well that possibly will want other players as well. So let me guys know what your comments and opinion on the Serge Ibaka trade, the Terrence Ross trade, Kevin Love injury, who should replace Kevin Love, and what you feel is going to happen to the Cavaliers now in the buyer's market. Not to only mention Derek Williams is a great pickup from the buyer's market, from the waivers market, because literally now faced with another injury, his value is going to completely go up. And possibly if he does get to free agency, if the Cleveland Cavaliers don't sign him back and he wants more money come time of free agency, he's going to get a good deal contract, a sizable contract. So this is really going to show Derek Williams' value later on next season as he goes into free agency, and possibly if he stays with the Cavs, that's on them. So that's it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to Diesel Claw Journalism. This is Young Shot. I'm out. Peace.